Thank you.
Hello,
Hi, how are y'all?
this is Georgia Bell.
Yes, Miss Bell, thank you.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss. How are you?
I'm fine. Hi, Dorothy.
Hello, I was muted. How you doing, Miss Branch?
I got to meet myself. I'm doing good.
Good, good.
I got to meet myself.
Okay, I'm getting ready to mute too.
Okay.
We did it just for you. We did it just for you.
Just for me, and I didn't wear purple, didn't I?
Oh, it's Alzheimer's month, so
I mean, come on.
we got a color coordinating.
Really?
Thank you.
So this is the first.
Second.
Second got
Mhm.
together. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I will be back at 9, a little before 9:30.
Sounds good.
Okay. Papers everywhere. Okay, I guess all the time. Okay, let me see what's going on. Oh, I got to stop. Thank you. I need a cat. Corley. My name Corley. A lot of people I just go by You better face it. She said, she wanted to eat. Oh, yeah, well, you can see. They got it. Yeah. It's just with that. Yeah. You got it? I got it. Okay.
Look, Mama got your food right here. Come and eat your food. Look, look. Come on, eat your dog food.
Melissa,
Go eat. Nerve dog.
Hi, ladies. We'll get started in a bit. Just want to kind of wait till probably another 5 more minutes and then we'll get started, okay?
Melissa,
Yes, ma'am.
Melissa,
Huh?
you do see me logged in. I thought I was going to be on. I said, this is Lillian. You do see that I am logged in.
Yeah, we got you on here, Miss Henry.
Okay. I thought I was going to be on the Zoom, but this phone, I don't know.
I
I'm
can't
here.
hear you
Okay.
very well.
Okay, I am here. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Constance. Who's that? Sound like Constance. Two self photos.
Hey, lady. All right. Morning. How y'all doing? Morning. Hey, how you doing? Uh-huh. Sorry. 6, all 6 of us. And they got it on the beach.
It's meant to say that because they ain't gonna never get it. Current bills is gonna keep
Hello.
You may test and prove what the will of God is good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Hello.
Hi, ladies, we're still getting everybody in, so just hang on tight. We'll be starting in just a minute.
Ladies, there's some freebies in the back here. Somebody can get something. One per person.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but they still tell you who's manager. Yeah, and they have the number on there too, but they say manager coming in. I know what you're saying, but they always relate this what they say. I know, but. I'm gonna come in and see that. I want to see. I'm not sure. Where just a girl in that house. I hear you down here. Oh, June 15.
So you get 3 Mondays.
Saturday.
So you get Monday, you get 5 days. So for bereavement,
Oh, I put B.
yeah, just put B, because I'll give you bereavement time, hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got one.
I was gonna do it now. Oh, you couldn't state it, but you
Ladies, remember to get your items off the table that has the agendas and everything on there. Make sure you have one. And we'll get started just a minute.
Are we on the 19th? The
20th.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I just want to get,
No, yeah, well, it's a federal holiday.
yes, yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep. It's the first one. Inaugural, yep. Yeah, long time coming.
As they say, true that.
Mhm.
True that.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
Now they're just gonna get these gun control.
This is so sad.
Every time I hear it, I just want to cry. It's just,
Yeah. Especially when those family members are talking.
mhm.
But what if they got this other thing now, these spirits are suing these?
Yeah, the FBI.
No,
Oh.
the painting thing that they did.
Oh,
And this young man is now blind and girl, he can't, but his brain is damaged. Alcohol.
oh yeah.
But they said he wants people to go to jail. And I said,
It would be good so that you can put all the stuff in there. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to. It's just good so that you put all your stuff in there. Yeah.
This money. Yeah. Everything was 469. I didn't want to. So I go back to that right away, and I'm like, oh, 69. So I went down the street, paid 467. She was nice to do. That's why I try to let you get that. Yeah.
Hi, Miss Flores, you have a question?
No, I just want to say good morning
Oh, good morning.
and let you know that I'm here in
Yeah,
in
we
the
see you.
Zoom. Okay. Thank you.
All right, ladies, we're gonna go ahead and get started because we have a guest speaker coming in at 9:30. So how's everybody doing this morning? All right, so everybody has the agenda on their table. Just kind of going over housekeeping. We do have Jane coming in at 9:30. She'll be giving us a presentation. Those that are on Zoom, if you can mute your phone so that we have it's easier to hear everybody. She's going to be talking about brain health and dementia. And after that, if you have questions or anything, then we'll do a restroom break and lunch. We will be having, the board is meeting today, so we'll have some of our board members coming in, just seeing how we do our meetings and everything. So if you see people coming in, that's who's coming in.
One of the welcome committee.
That was out there. Yeah, it's our board members.
Okay.
So they're going to be just kind of coming in and seeing how we're doing and everything. They might just stop by and say hi to you and everything. So don't be surprised strangers talking to you, wondering who that is. Then we're going to talk about the recruitment initiative, which we talked about last time. So we're just going to kind of go over that calendar, newsletters, and then anything that needs to be added or anything like that. Anybody have any questions on how the agenda is going to go today? All righty. So we're going to wait for Jane. So we got about 5 minutes. So if you want to take a quick restroom break before we start, because I know some people have been drinking coffee and probably need to go to the bathroom and everything. So we'll start promptly at 9:30. So give us about 5 minutes.
Melissa,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, this is Verda.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, I might have to get off because the social worker is coming for my brother. I may
Okay.
have, but I will, I guess I can send you a message.
Yeah, just that. And then once they're gone and everything, just log back on.
Okay.
No, we were.
Oh, another thing. Melissa, I'm sorry. Melissa,
Yes, ma'am.
you know that Miss Robinson passed away, right? Did I put that
Yeah,
on my?
just send me a message so that I can make sure. Did you
Okay,
put it on your timesheet bereavement? Because you'll get bereavement days.
Oh, okay. I'll email it to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're on the ferry. Is there another little house that takes you over there? You know, we drove and we rolled around. But we didn't do it like just we didn't do it here with the COVID. Yeah. But now we got because all of sunshine. In July, one of the ladies is theater show. It's downtown. We all decided to go, you know. Yeah. But I'm not sure, but we just going to represent. And we always make a donation to our show.
Please refer March.
what you said.
I put it on my, included it into my presentation. So. Got you taken care of. All right, ladies. So I don't know if I need to do an introduction for Miss Jane. Everybody seems to know Miss Jane really well. So in case you didn't know, Miss Jane is a licensed social worker. She's been employed in mental health, as you know, and various health for over 40 years. 35 years has been focused on older adults. So that's where her passion is. She's working with the Alzheimer's Association. That's why we're doing it today. It's Alzheimer's month in June. So she's going to be talking to us about some of the different things about Alzheimer's, but I don't think I need to do much of an introduction. Everybody knows Miss Jane. She's just that popular.
No, I think the line is I've been around that long.
No.
And so I often talk about working with older adults because I started working with older adults when I was 25 and now I is one. And it is a really wonderful journey that I have had in working with individuals who have experienced so much and seen so many things and been so willing to share those experiences with me. So I have learned way more from you than you've learned from me. But we are here today because every single June we celebrate Brain Awareness Month or brain health. And I want you to kind of think back 20, 30, 40, even 50 years. Did we ever talk about brain health?
No.
We talked about our heart. We talked about our sugar. We talked about our blood pressure. But it's really just the last 10 years that we've talked a lot about our brain, and we've talked a lot more about dementia and Alzheimer's. And so what Melissa asked me to cover today was a little bit about some of the resources. You've had lots of presentations from Alzheimer's. You know a lot of things about the different kinds of dementia, how to work with somebody. How many of you work with someone who has dementia in your companion program? Okay. So it is just really common. Nearly everybody is touched by dementia.
Yeah.
So today we want to focus on the resources, and I'm going to step around.
I was going to say step around because we do have somebody. We still have people in Zoom.
Okay, I will step around and we will go from here. So how many of you were out at Fair Park? A couple weeks ago, we did a big, you did not that day. Okay, well, we had an Older Americans Month get together, which we've done for many, many years. And we honor older adults. And the theme this year was Age My Way. And when I think about aging my way, I think about when I hate it when I go in a store or a catalog and it says one size fits all. And I'm thinking there is no way. Okay. My youngest son is 6'6". He and I are not a one size fit all kind of people. But I also think it relates here. Some of us age and want to be busy every second. Some can't wait to get out of the workforce and do something that's more individual activities, etc. So aging my way to me is just remembering and being able to say to people, let's get the information, select and do what we want with it. There isn't a right or a wrong. What we do know is a whole lot more about us. So I want to spend a few minutes talking first about you and me and our brain health, not about the people you work with who may have dementia. But what is it that research now has shown us? And it's amazing, but there are 4 key things: exercise, nutrition, social involvement and engagement, and new learning. Okay, so if we take exercise, what kind of exercise helps our brain? Am I moving my head? No. When I do walking, swimming, any kind of aerobic, the heart is pumping up to the brain. So when you are encouraged to do exercise 2 or 3 times a week, That is to benefit your cardiac system, but it's also to benefit and get that blood flowing to the brain. So you can think about every single step you make, that blood is going up, and that improves and enhances your brain function. So that's kind of number one. Number two, nutrition. Everything we put in our mouth also impacts our overall health in our brain. So who's heard of an antioxidant? Okay. Do we eat any of them? What do we think of? Well, what do we think of the food most off the top of our head for antioxidants? Okay. Somebody said broccoli. I think I heard blueberries. There's categories of food, and blueberries is kind of one of the top of the list. These new acacia bowls that people seem to like, broccoli, etc. But overall, the nutrition isn't anything we knew when we were 10 years old. More good fruits and vegetables and less of the other stuff. But you have to be well-rounded. Okay. What about social engagement? Well, the research on this has become, to me, unbelievable. When research began to tell us about 10 years ago that any individual, it doesn't matter if you're young or old, who has contact with one other person on a regular basis has less cognitive and mental health issues. It's amazing. So you all are here, you are engaged, you are ambassadors, but you think about your network, your neighborhood, your village, your faith community. We all know somebody who is not out at all. That was prior to the pandemic. We know somebody who doesn't have a lot of engagement. Since the pandemic, we know there are individuals who are now just afraid. And we know that we can't necessarily go in and engage them every day, but we can connect them to programs where we're calling them, we are connecting. One individual, regular social contact can make that much difference. That's amazing to me. The last is new learning. This is the one that has become much more popularized in advertisements on television the last 7, 8, 9 years. It's, I'm a crossword puzzle freak, but if I do a crossword puzzle in the newspaper every day, that's not new. It may be good for me mentally, but it's not new. So new learning is trying something new. If you have never knitted, learning to knit, or reading a kind of book you don't typically read, taking a class in something that you've never, ever undertaken, calling a friend, someone here, and learning some words in a new language. So those are kind of the 4 things: new learning and why. So if you would just look for a minute at this colorful picture of the brain, because it reminds us that different pieces of the brain manage different parts of our function. Some are automatic. I'm not up here thinking about breathing, but others we have to develop and work at. And so just as the parts of the brain, and whether you can see that very well, some things relate more to communication and speech, and others to automatic function. But what you're looking at when you're looking at exercise, nutrition, social engagement, and new learning, it's stimulating all the... What? I'm sorry. Would you mind muting, please? We've got a little feedback, but we welcome you. We're awfully glad that you're here. So those are the 4 current ways that we know we're working all the pieces of the brain. Because if we just sit and watch television, we're not working the whole brain. So why did I put 2 more things down here? Sleep and head injury. Because early indications is they're going to be added to this list of things that you and I can manage to improve our brain health. So sleep, we know, impacts us greatly. but the impact on preventing any kind of cognitive decline.
Just gonna mute everybody.
Yep, I had some, but I was in a hurry trying to get here and left them. You gotta do what you gotta do. What are you washing at?
Thank you. Okay, Melissa has muted, so I think we can all hear very well. Thank you. But there's greater indication now in some of the research that prolonged issues with sleep may actually contribute to cognitive decline. We don't have, the word is not completely in, but it does encourage us to take our sleep seriously, to talk with our doctor if we need to. So the other is head injury. So if we think about it, and I couldn't help think about it this month with the incidents that we've seen in our country. I just couldn't. So how long have we worn seatbelts? So long I can hardly remember not. I mean, I do remember not, but how long have we worn helmets if we were doing motorcycle riding or other kinds of unprotected? So we protect our brain from trauma. We've been hearing about a higher incidence of not just concussion, but brain trauma and sometimes dementia in athletes who've had consecutive and consistent, not you had one concussion in football, but people who have been afflicted by that a lot. So when I say that the list may grow, what you and I can start today, but you probably already have, but to keep our brain strong and well are these key components. Exercise to keep the blood moving, nutrition just to provide our whole body health, social engagement. You're here, you're engaged. It is that communication, but I ask for you to think about that person you know who's not. Refer them to us. We've got a caring callers program. We'll get them set up with a volunteer. They'll be calling them. And then think about some kind of new learning. So let's go through some of the opportunities to help us with these.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Leila McClinton.
So let's take the first two just for a moment. And there's so many hundreds of opportunities in our city and our county. I just picked out a few. Hopefully you're going to give us a few more. But have any of you been to any of our parks and rec centers?
Yeah.
Okay, it's unbelievable. Do you have a favorite? Which one? Okay, Jefferson Turner. Janessy Turner, that's right. Okay, I haven't been there in a long time. Which one? MLK. Concord. West Dallas. Okay, so we have so many. And within those centers, most of them have a program focused on older adults that is targeted to our joints, our body, and our risk factors so that you can come in early. You can be there when there aren't a lot of people. A lot of folks who are working come at 5:36 in the morning. They're gone by 7. So we have specifically designated hours. I noted here the active senior adult program with Dallas Parks and Recs, but I wanted to highlight just a few of their activities. They do competitions. So we do the Senior Olympics, the all kinds of machines and fitness classes. I was down at Grawweiler last week. It's just around the corner from here, and they had dance class all Tuesday. And people just came and went and had a grand time. Socialization, special events, special interests. But some of the things are aerobics, arts and crafts, book clubs. So again, new learning might be reading a different kind of genre than what you've had. Whoops. Sorry about that. Weight training, volunteer opportunities, nutrition classes, Domino's, day trips, etc. So we are really fortunate in a big city. We may have the downside of more transportation issues and more time to get around, but we have a lot of opportunities. So if you have not been to any of the rec centers, they're really fabulous. I highlighted West Dallas and MLK here because those centers, in addition to recreation, have the senior center and they have other services. So that's why we call them multi-purpose. I also highlighted the WellMed Center at Redbird. Has anybody been there? Okay, what do you think of it? Fantastic. What do you like about it? Okay, okay. Yeah. So the city built that with the WellMed Foundation, and it opened and it was busy immediately. So one of the things that you have to pick and choose from these centers is that they are very busy. Older adults tend to come in 7:30 in the morning to exercise. They use the weight room, maybe they go to a class, but people stay and they have a good time and they make new friendships. So the WellMed has been really well accepted. Has anybody been to the summit in Grand Prairie? Okay. I can't even describe it. Okay, she says state of the art. It's been around probably a good 12 years now, and people still come from other parts of the country. So it is offering so many things to so many people, and that program in Grand Prairie focuses over 50. You just, if you start asking questions, you're going to be amazed how many things are out there. We do not. The WellMed is going to be the closest. Give it a try, although I will say it's busy. So it's busy. And I put down Cooper because so many people talk about Cooper because he's just so well known, but that's way North Dallas. And then I did put down the Zoom programs because I still want to say that you have so many opportunities. I would rather people be together, but we're still doing the Zoom exercise program with Ava Combs. Have any of you seen her on our programs on Facebook? So Ava Combs works out of the Moreland Y MCA. And she does programs for us every Monday and Wednesday. She leads 30 minutes of exercise, but it's really tailored to us. Sometimes it's in a chair for people who can't rise. Sometimes it's up. Sometimes it's on a floor mat, but something that everybody can do. The great thing about Ava's program is that you can watch it anytime. You know, just because you didn't feel like it Monday at 10:30, you can go on at 6 at night and pull up Facebook and it's there. So we keep those programs going. I also want to highlight that lots of other people are doing these exercise classes now. And one that a lot of folks don't know about is the Parkinson's Association. So I added them here because many individuals who have long-standing Parkinson also have impact on brain and cognitive functioning. And they offer a lot of exercise classes, both physical therapy in person, but also exercise just to keep your limbs going. So those are a few of the things you can do related to exercise, but what about nutrition? So when I was preparing today, I thought, you know, this is challenging all the time because we come out to these programs and we tell you more fresh fish, more fresh vegetables, more fresh food. And what does all that mean? More cost right now while your bills are already up. Tell me who has noticed a significant cost increase at the grocery. Okay. And where do you see it the most? Is there one group of foods that you notice? Okay, anything fresh. So I noted 3 things here. You know about SNAP. It's kind of food stamps, but now the program is called SNAP, Special Nutrition. PAN, the program where you can register, and once a month, typically, it depends. It's a federal program that gives out especially a lot of dairy kinds of related cheeses, et cetera. And then the just the number of food banks. And so I think from my perspective, we've given to these for many years. And I know this group. You've donated money, you've donated cans, you've collected along the way with your kids. This may be a time to consider that you need to accept for a little bit. I'm hoping that this will not go on and on and on, but we've been there before and we're going to have to share. So the other thing that I did not put here because they change so much, but are the community gardens. Who's been to a community garden? Anybody? Which one have you been to?
The one down in Bonton.
Okay, that was the one I was going to say. If you've never been to Bonton, it is a really quite a joy to go to Bonton. So it is in the southern part of South Dallas. So a lot of folks really don't go down there as much unless they live in that community. But Bonton has become extremely well known because they don't just have a community garden. They are building businesses with the people who live there. So they built the honey business, a car repair business. I want to say a goat milk business. I'm missing. They've got a little restaurant now, and I think there's a fifth. So if you haven't had an opportunity to see a community garden, there is a great benefit of seeing, and you go, sometimes if you commit time, you can even take more of the produce. So in the short term, while we are having a really struggling time financially, consider taking because you've been giving all these years. So the other two things when we talked about social engagement and connection, there's just a million places to connect. All of our churches, temples, mosques tend to have something, not just for the whole congregate, but also for older adults. The senior activity programs, have any of you used the county senior centers? Anybody been to a senior center? Which one? Concord. Okay, Concord is really been, they were out in droves last week, let me tell you. Anybody else? Okay, MLK, I mean, they were all out last week. Singing Hills brought massive number of people. You know, the newest one, I think in Oak Cliff, Emeritus, was well represented. I was very Harbor Heights. Okay. So, and many of them have transportation as well. And not just the county programs, there are many within our churches, et cetera. But I highlight that because again, you all are here, you're engaged. You're going to know individuals who really need an opportunity to get out with other well seniors. You know, adult daycare is fabulous, but it really is for people who have a lot of physical and cognitive problems. One of the things working here has been interesting is the number of families who brought their older relatives from other states to live in Dallas during the pandemic. And that's great. I mean, they wanted to be near them, but what they found is their whole social network was gone. I mean, gone. And the kids are working and the grandkids are busy. So we've connected a lot of those folks with these core services. So social engagement and connection. And then I mentioned about learning, keep learning. And a lot of folks are not aware of Dallas County Community Colleges. How many do we have? About 5 of them. We've got them north, south, Mountain View, kind of downtown. They kind of joined in a different way last year and rebranded as Dallas Colleges. And the fees in using different ones has increased a little bit. So if you look at their materials, they offer a lot of, you know, they call it continuing education. I just call them interesting classes. I could take pottery. I could take jewelry making. I can go to a book club. I can go to a new language class. but they also offer literally for older adults degree programs and at no cost. And I came in and spoke to the foster grandparent group about 3 weeks ago, and somebody stopped me and she said, I just got my degree. And, you know, she's like 84. So the point is continue to learn and see that there are opportunities. So let's talk about new learning, since we know new learning is going to be a good for our brain. What are the pictures I put up here? Okay, so the one on the left, anybody recognize that? It kind of took the country by storm about 4 or 5 months ago, called Wordle. Wordle. Has anybody heard of Wordle? So Wordle is a little game. You can play it on your phone or your computer. And every day they post a new one and you get 6 chances to figure out a word. But it challenges your brain. So last night I actually played Wordle and I put in coach. You have to pick a word. Well, the first word I put in, I didn't have a single letter right. So then the next word I put in was heart. Well, that gave me 2 letters. So I knew I had 2 letters right. My third try then, I already know 2 letters, and you go from there and you get 5 tries. The point is, it's just a silly little game, but it's using different pieces of your brain kind of in a fun way. The one on the right is called Sudoku. Now, I have a friend who's wild for these. I don't like them at all. Okay, so we got some heads going. But again, it is the thought that there is variety, that we want to have some variety. Me, I do a crossword every day. That's fun, but it isn't going to be the variety that I need to undertake. And so one of the things, and I don't typically go one organization over another, but AARP, here the little picture of the brain with the strong arms, they do have a lot of online brain exercise games that if you are someone who likes that kind of thing, you can do at no charge whatsoever. And the games range from word games to number games to just kind of overall crosswords, word search. Some people ask me about word search. Word search is great, but not just that. So the point is, think broadly and do things that will really broadly impact you. So the last piece of this is how you take charge. And I say you take charge by being here. I was speaking with someone, actually many of you I've known 20 years now, folks. And we said, you know, during the pandemic, when you were not going to assist somebody, all of us got in a little bit different habit. I mean, I think, you know, I was wearing the same t-shirt several days in a row. I mean, I got up and got dressed, but, you know, it wasn't always the same. So taking charge is in your own way. You have to make that decision. But know that, again, we have a lot of opportunities. So in our community, the community council, they're located up on Mockingbird. They have services for youth. We really put a lot into youth. But also they have the Dallas Area Agency on Aging. And they have the Wellness Center. They teach all these classes. So the current classes are diabetes self-management, chronic pain, chronic disease, diabetes prevention, fall prevention, and then medication management, which is called PEARLS. So if you've never taken one of these classes, they're really kind of fun. I have done some teaching of them, and it's a great way to connect with some new people, learn something, and take charge yourself. The old school model was you went to the doctor and waited for them to tell you something. The new model, which I really like, is we go to the doctor, we tell them what's going on with us, and then we wait for their expertise about how to improve our own functioning. But we are now interactive, and we've gotten a lot more from that. So the last one I want to show you on our brain health is the Brain Health Project. Does anybody know of the place called Brain Health Institute up on Mockingbird? It's been around probably almost 20 years now. It is in connection with UT Southwestern, but it's a little bit separate. They only look at issues of brain functioning, and they do it across the lifespan, but they have a project where whether you're 30 or 90, you can participate with some online activities at no cost. They are using it for your benefit, but also for theirs. They are using part of that as research just to see how does that stimulate you. So if anybody's interested, go online or ask us about the Brain Health Institute. They've got some pretty interesting things going on. So the last one I want to share before we go into the dementia resources is one that crosses over. So we have out of Fort Worth, but it's called Texas Healthy at Home, a whole lot of organizations who come together to share their resources. It doesn't make sense that we offer the same program that 10 other places do if we can share that broadly and do more and offer more. So this little newsletter is a really great thing. And if you look at their offering for June, one of them is take action to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. Well, that's what we just talked about. We just talked about the 4 current approaches research says help us reduce risk. But then the next one is save the date for August, managing, rummaging, hoarding, wandering, packing. So that's speaking about someone who has dementia and some of those really troublesome behaviors. So some of you may be assigned to work with somebody who's a hoarder or rummaging. And so they do programs that address you and me staying well and active, but also programs that address those people that we are assisting who have dementia. And that's why I wanted to mention them. We can always give you the connection if you would like. So as we transition now into talking about those resources for people that you are helping who already have dementia. And it really doesn't matter. Is it Alzheimer's, Lewy body? Is it Parkinson's, frontotemporal vascular? It doesn't matter. We're still supporting the person and their family. So I am part of a group in Dallas called Dementia Friendly Dallas. Has anybody heard of it? I'm not surprised because we're very new, but we are part of a nationwide group. And I want to show you a couple videos to show you what we're trying to do. So let's run these videos and then we'll talk about dementia friendly. I think we have to get rid of skip ad. There we go.
If you saw someone with dementia, would you recognize the signs?
Can you hear it? Oh, you're not seeing it. Okay, hold on a minute. We're going to see what we can do about that. Can you see it now? Nope. Melissa? Do you want to show me what I might be doing different? Your slides run a little differently than mine. So I just clicked and it didn't show. Usually if I run a program and I have the sound on, I don't have any issue. And if it doesn't, we're not going to worry about it. I'll just talk about it. So I went there. It went for me, but it didn't go up on the screen. See, it always played for me. It's not playing on the screen.
Oh, sure.
Share. Yeah, let's do this. It's not coming up. Still not playing on the screen. Okay, well, don't worry about it. We'll just go back. Not had that happen before.
Would you be frustrated?
It's like it's not running it. Like it's part of it.
Or would you be a friend? And empower them to get through their day?
It's so weird.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Would you welcome the opportunity to help them feel like a part of your community? Would you take even the smallest step to make their world less frightening or confusing? Every single one of us has a unique part to play in the lives of people living with dementia in our community.
You know what? Let's just do this. Let's just copy it. Oops.
You want to just put it in the URL? Okay. We just show one of them. Let's see if it'll go this way. Oh, there it goes. Okay. She's going to do a workaround. That's what you call using all aspects of your brain or two brains. So we're going to show this again just because I want you to understand the project.
If you with dementia, would you recognize the signs? Would you be uncomfortable?
Thank you.
Would you avoid them? Would you be frustrated? Would you do nothing? Or would you be a friend? Would you engage them and empower them to get through their day? Would you welcome the opportunity to help them feel like a part of your community? Would you take even the smallest step to make their world less frightening or confusing? Every single one of us has a unique part to play in the lives of people living with dementia in our community. Become a dementia friend today and build communities where all people can live, age, and thrive.
Hey, Mr. Fredrickson, it's Tuesday. Aren't you going to the store?
Yeah.
Come on, I'll walk with you.
Find out more at dementiafriendsusa.org.
So we're not going to show you the other one since we had such an issue, but I do want you to know about the program because we are working just one church, one business at a time. And Fort Worth is way ahead of us. What Fort Worth has been able to do, they now have several.
My mom signed up for AARP, but I didn't think I was ready yet until I started seeing AARP benefits I was missing everywhere I looked. At the grocery store, at the park.
I'm getting feedback. I got the rest off. Screen share has stopped. Let's see. Let's see if we can see again. Okay, got it. No feedback. Sorry about the feedback for the folks who were on the phone. Apologies. So Dementia Friendly in Fort Worth already has some churches now who have been trained. And what they're doing is they're offering a Friday or a Saturday service or a Sunday afternoon service with fewer people at a time where somebody who's dealing with somebody who may be like middle stage might be upset or embarrassed to take someone to a crowded group because you don't know what's going to happen. The person's going to get up and wander, walk, try to take off their shirt. But the congregation is smaller and trained at those times to accept those behaviors. They've done the same with grocery stores. So they'll pick a couple grocery stores in every neighborhood, train the staff who are going to be on site Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. And once the staff understand, then they announce it as dementia time. So I take my dad to the store, and it doesn't matter if my dad's just grabbing things off the shelves. It allows me time to shop. The staff are prepared for the fact that my behavior might be different. So all we're trying to do is educate people to dementia so that they can understand and not label, but help out that caregiver. So if you're the one who's helping your senior and you're trying to go somewhere, you know, sometimes it is challenging. So that's the concept of dementia friendly. One business, one church, one mosque, one temple at a time, one police officer, one, etc. And so I'm hoping that you will hear a lot more about this. When you see dementia friendly community, it always has the little daisy. And we are right now in Dallas primarily focused on businesses and churches. We hope to be expanding that. My particular focus as a volunteer for them is on some of the staff who interact with large numbers of older adults. So particularly the city of Dallas staff and the county of Dallas. So I want the staff to have some infrastructure understanding of dementia and then to be able to work more with people. So I hope that you hear more about it. It's pretty fun. The first group of resources for persons with dementia that I want to mention are the resources for the persons themselves. One of the great things that we have made gains on is having people diagnosed earlier. But when you are diagnosed earlier, you are more likely to understand and hear your diagnosis. And what do you think that feels like? Very frightening, very depressing, very scary. You might be 53 and someone just told you you have early Alzheimer's. Or you might be 83. Well, it doesn't feel good at either age, but it has whole different implications at 53. You're still working, you might be raising your family. You are still needing to be terribly mobile. So there are programs now that support that person while they're struggling with how am I going to manage my future? How am I going to cope mentally? And so there are a lot of programs for persons with early stage. It doesn't matter if they're 55 or 85. And some of them are like this called Changing Gears that are offered through the Alzheimer's Association. Brain Health Institute offers one as well. And I just cut and pasted a few because we have a whole lot now. The Plano Library offers something similar. The SMU Meadows Library offers something similar that's called, I'm going to show you theirs, Connections. So SMU isn't a place that I go very often. I don't know about any of you, but they take in a few individuals at a time. So rather than having 50 people show up, they'll schedule 5 groups of people. Might be myself and my husband who has dementia. Might be me and my mom who has. But in a small setting where people are trained, they give you an experience that's both social, but also something else of value. Art, understanding, participating your brain in other ways. And so we have a lot more of these programs. There's a lot of work. Actually, I'm going to be at this library tonight. We're speaking for them tonight through the Alzheimer's Association because we're bringing in a lot of the groups from the southern sector tonight that we want to extend this program in the South End. We don't have as many early dementia programs in the southern part of the city outside of Friends Daycare, which is in DeSoto, does a lot of education. So we're hoping to recruit volunteers and train them tonight. So what about the caregivers? Most often we talk about the caregivers. So that's you and me. You're helping people. Most of you raised your hand. You're helping someone with dementia. We need education to know. What I learned at coming out of school once upon a time at age 22 is not at all what I now know at 65. We talked about dementia or Alzheimer's. Now we talk about 6, 7 kinds. So there's a lot for us to learn. Education, support groups, respite care. and overall stress reduction for the folks who are doing the care. So who has ever had a program from Alzheimer's? Probably they've come here, spoken for Constance and for Melissa. They have dozens. You can go online in the middle of the night. You can go on Zoom. I mean, it doesn't matter. Anything you want to know. And they do a program that I'll highlight here called Table Talk almost every single week. And Table Talk focuses on those little behaviors that are so challenging for our caregivers. Because most persons with dementia are not going to experience every problem. They're not going, they may wander, they may hallucinate, they may hoard, they may be sundowning, they may be up at night, but they're not going to have all of them. So it focuses on those things that a caregiver really has to hone in on. It also helps that caregiver not get overwhelmed by, oh my goodness, what might happen? Well, this is what's happening today. Let's address how you can best work with somebody who has become paranoid or someone who is sundowning. So their table talks do that every single week. Their support groups are just, actually, I don't even keep a list of them anymore. I use the link every time somebody calls me because there are so many. Support groups are in English, they're in Spanish, they're in Mandarin, and we hope to be expanding to other languages in Dallas soon. They are in the morning, they are in the afternoon, they are at night for working caregivers. They are on weekends. They are in person, they are on Zoom, I mean, everything. So here you see Carrollton, Dallas, Louisville. This is ours. We do both day and evening. I do the one in the evening for the working caregivers. I have some caregivers who just can't take that lunch hour. So Terry, my coworker, does the lunch one and I do the evening one. But you also see that they extend from Rockwell to DeSoto, just everywhere. They're in all parts of town. The thing that maybe less people are aware of is respite care. So who knows what I mean by respite? What do I mean? Just getting a break. If you are, you know, the first book that people knew about primarily for caring for somebody with dementia was called The 36-Hour Day. And you think about when you were, let's say, 40 years old and you're running around and you're working and you're raising kids and your day feels like it's 20 hours long or 10 hours and you can't get it all squeezed in. But for somebody caring for someone with dementia, their day feels 36 hours long. By 10 o'clock in the morning, that person may have already asked me that same question 10 times. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'll make it till lunch, much less dinner. So there's a growing number of respite day out programs. And I don't like to analogize things to children because we are not making this out to be childcare, but it is similar in the way that moms sometimes need a day out, caregivers do. So you'll see that this is just kind of gives you a list of churches that are presently sponsoring a day out program, but also you'll see some, in particularly it happened to be the temples, the Jewish temples, who canceled most everything during the pandemic. We are hoping that they will reopen. But also part of our program tonight where we will be working with folks from the southern sector is hoping to get more churches in the South End to begin to offer these programs. From here, we've done a lot of work from the senior source with Concord. Anybody know Concord Church? Place is just, anybody go there? Love that place. I mean, they've just been the best ambassadors for older adults and new services. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, really just awesome. We're doing, I want to get the name right. We're starting a new Stress Busters class with a couple other churches soon. Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. That's the one we're starting Stress Busters with in 2 weeks. So really trying to get some of these services that have traditionally existed, but they've been north all over town because people live everywhere. So the Memory Cafe is something else. Have you ever heard of Memory Cafe? So these are growing. We do not have that many in our community, but we have folks who are trying to build the number of these. So Memory Cafe is kind of just exactly what it says, a place where you can go with your loved one who has dementia, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and act like you're at the diner like you would any other place, but maybe you wouldn't be comfortable at the regular diner where the behavior is unpredictable. And so memory cafes, the one, I just copied a couple, Denton and DeSoto, but we do hope that those also will be expanding. I also want to tell you about a couple other special programs in Dallas that some really thoughtful people have developed for persons with dementia so that it isn't all about everybody else. So Lifelines is a program through Presbyterian Dallas where they bring together person with dementia and their caregiver to do art and music. Because again, remember, we're trying to use different pieces and more pieces of our brain and to provide that person with dementia. Sometimes they can't communicate verbally the same way that they did, but they can enjoy music or painting. So that's the Presbyterian program. Who knows about the Arboretum program? So the Arboretum does the same, where they bring in small groups of persons with dementia and their caregiver and let them experience this gorgeous Arboretum that we have. But they take it a step farther because they also make it really easy if somebody is wheelchair dependent. That's been a big, big issue in certain areas, and particularly the Arboretum. You can't see the entire thing in a wheelchair, but now much, much more so. In addition, I want to mention just a lot of special programs for the caregivers. Brain Health has training programs. Parkland has a very structured education program for the caregivers. You know, some caregivers just make it so easy. You can't even believe this, but this tells me the difference between when I was 22 and a new social worker and 65. I have so many men right now who are caring for their wives with dementia doing a fabulous job, folks. I mean, these are people who said, I've never cooked a meal in my life. And they are doing fabulous, but not everybody does. And so these programs, they focus on educating us, but also really supporting us, helping us cope and understanding that. One that we do here is a 9-week Stress Busters program. Terry and I are certified in this class, and it's taught several other places in Dallas. But caregivers join us who just understand that they are just stressed out. And they come, and every week we do a little content, but also we teach a new stress reduction technique. So we do the 4x4 breathing, you know, where you learn in 5 minutes how to just relax yourself through structured breathing. We do some meditation, some guided imagery. We do art, we do hand massage, we do music, all kinds of techniques, journaling, and hopefully at the end of the 9 weeks, the caregiver has selected 2 things that help them. Again, one size does not fit all. Let's give a lot of choices and then pick 2 that make a difference in your life. So that's one of our programs. My last comment really is about respite care. I have been working here at the Senior Source just about 1.5 years. And I probably talk with 5 to 10 caregivers a day on a typical day, and nearly everybody needs respite care. And there just isn't that much of it. So where do you go? Some people use adult daycare. The longest standing one in Dallas was at Bachman Lake. It closed, but the next longest standing, I think, would be Friends Place. One is in DeSoto and one is in Richardson. But there are about 8 others now. We don't have large volumes, but we do have a lot of adult daycare. Care facilities, sometimes you're nearer to a memory care facility that will take in someone for a vacation. The in-home services, some people use family for respite care. Some apply if their loved one was a veteran to see if they can get veteran respite. The state has a respite care program in there flyer is here, but it's not always easy to get approved. So I always tell people, be patient, let us walk you through the process. A lot of people are just paying for it privately, and they have to decide at the cost of care, which is going to be, about $100 for a respite day. Well, I can only afford this twice a month, but at least it's twice a month that I can take a break. We talked about the day out programs, the memory cafe programs, and I want to finish just kind of with different ways of watering our brain and watering our garden, just like we watered our garden. I think that some of you probably have programs to share, because I kind of picked some. We're such a big city, we have so much. Any programs that you've heard about that you want to share with the group? Again, one size does not fit all, so we want you to have a broad understanding of what's there so that you can help the people in your village and community connect with something that will support them. I want to just say, what question or comment?
Well, I didn't have a question later, but I was going to say Methodist, that program, I've gone there, they have a really good.
So I'm so glad you brought that up. A lot of the hospitals have a program targeting older adults, and the one at Methodist, I think, is called 55 Plus. Jerry Locke has run that program for 25 years. And what? Generations now. That's right. They changed their name. They have fabulous fabulous. And it's not like they do with everybody's program. They use AARP and us and Alzheimer's and, people really trying to come together. So dementia is a disease. It is not just the forgetfulness. We have some normal memory loss with age, but it's not pronounced. Usually the memory loss that's normal aging is just we are a little bit slower in our processing. Dementia is a disease. The brain cells are changing. So if you have, it depends on the kind of dementia. If it's Alzheimer's, it seems to be the plaques and tangles in the brain anatomy. If it's vascular, it seems to be years and years of untreated blood pressure, or which cause little infarcts. So Parkinson's, it would be the disease. So there are different causes.
I had to take a test. They gave me a test for my brain. I took that test and I had 3 that I did. And the fourth test, I was so tired I couldn't even.
So an aneurysm, obviously they want to see your function after that. But the tests would be very varied. They want to examine blood flow to see that there's good blood flow, but no more bleeding. But they also want to do sometimes paper and pen or visual spatial tests. So how many of you, okay, and I know some of you are going to put your hand up because I was part of this process. How many of you go to the doctor every year and they do a little paper and pen test that takes 3 minutes? Okay. I administered them to you. I know that was part of my Parkland rule. So we call that a mini cog. It is a screening, not a diagnostic test. We screen people starting at 60 or 65 with that simple little test every year. And it allows us not to diagnose, but to maybe pick up some changes could be occurring. You can be 99 and have no dementia, but you can be 50 and have dementia. So that test screens, it does not diagnose. When you don't do well, often you're referred to a lot of tests. Those are the ones that can last hours, and frankly, they just wear people out. But it does provide your doctor with valuable information, because people think dementia, they think memory loss. It is not just memory. It's calculation, reasoning, behavior, personality. our brain is much more than memory. So the functioning is much more global.
It was a couple of years back before the pandemic. They had a virtual person coming, and we had to put some in the feet on the bottom of the feet. I don't remember if Constance remember that. And we had to go in the room, and they had certain tasks we had to do, and we put on these virtual things. That was an experience I never forget because it showed us how a person with dementia actually a day of, and I will never forget that in my life. So do y'all still,
so we're going to resurrect that again. I'm going to tell my director that you remember that. Okay. So when my years that I knew many of you from working at Parkland, we did a training with our staff in medical called aging sensitivity. They would wear glasses and dampen the hearing and put on the gloves to help people who are in busy medical understand that you got to slow down sometimes and give a little extra hand to the person who has mobility problems or vision issues. What she's talking about is you all came here and we did an exercise on dementia sensitivity. And dementia sensitivity is taking that in a different direction. It's giving you the gloves and the vision problem, but then it's giving you a sheet of paper where you only have half of the instruction, or you can only read half the page because the way that your brain function is working, you have only partial function. And it's amazing how fast those exercises make you have sympathy, empathy, and understanding. And so I'm going to tell my director, because I do want to say to you, and I surely want to thank Constance and Melissa. They are just wonderful colleagues. I am retiring June 30th. Okay. So you may see me out at, I might just show up at any rec center, but I hope to continue. I'm going to continue dementia friendly, my Alzheimer's work, and I hope that occasionally I will be invited back to speak to your group. But I think those are the things I want to advocate for before I go. My director, Kimberly Knight, tell her that y'all remember this, that it had such value. So thank you for sharing that. Yes.
I have several questions I wanted to ask. Please. One of them is pertaining to what she was talking about. Like some diseases are kind of racial, like a lot of Hispanics, black, high blood pressure. I didn't hear much about dementia until I don't mean lately, but you know what I'm saying? Has it always been something maybe a racial type thing that all of a sudden now we hear about it?
So I can't give you a date, but the last 7 years, we have been speaking constantly through the Alzheimer's Association about the incidence of dementia by ethnicity. And one of the things that I will be speaking on tonight is exactly that. There is twice as much incidence of dementia in the African American community, double as Caucasian. There is 1.5 as much incidence in Latino population as Caucasian. There is double in women. So if we look at racial and ethnic groups, why is that the case? What would you think? Okay, stress, diet. She already said part of it and she said it again. Higher incidence of blood pressure. And once we finally got that real information that was proven, you can't believe how people have listened to that and said, we got to go out and tell people. You've got, if there's so many things you can't control, the highest risk factor for dementia is still age. Well, I hope to get older. I think you do too. Another risk factor is genes. I can't change my genes, but I can watch my blood pressure and I can understand that the kinds of dementia in Black Americans tends typically to be a higher incidence of vascular. Not as, I mean, there's plenty of Alzheimer's, but vascular hypertension for years leads to a higher incidence. In the Latino population, hypertension, but what else do you think of? Diabetes causes the same kind of vascular impact. So part of why we're doing this program tonight to get new community partners, Friendship West, FRI, Fraser from South Dallas, Jubilee, all of those folks are going to be there, is to help us get that word out that yes, there are some racial differences, but we think some of them can be controlled if you start soon enough. Now, we don't have the data to prove that, but we believe that some of that can occur.
Well, I want to know where the Bonton Garden Center is, that's one. And you talked about the ABLE program. I don't know how to go about.
Which one?
Go about finding that. And my other question was the Cooper Center. I thought that was a membership firm where you have to have a membership. And my last one was the Texas Health and Home. How do you get the brochure?
Okay, so let's take one at a time. I wanted to pull up the exact address because I can drive there, but I can't tell you the exact address. Bonton Farms is down on Bear Street, BEXAR, and it is that south part of South Dallas. So a lot of people never really get out of what I call the loop around Fair Park. So you've got Jubilee on the north side and you've got Fraser on the south side. Then you go down toward Lincoln High School. If you keep going past Lincoln and down, you'll hit the neighborhood of Bonton Farms, and it is growing greatly. So that's number one. Number two, Cooper. Yes, Cooper is a membership location, but they also do a lot of efforts to reach other individuals. So they offer a lot of programs. I don't go there. I think it's a little pricey, but I like to share the range of kinds of things. And then the newsletter I'm going to send to Melissa so that you can sign up for that. Because really, it's one of the more new partnerships that has so many organizations. I think I get a dozen newsletters, but that's one I really pay attention to. So we'll get that to you.
The ABLE program?
Anything else?
The ABLE program, you can tell us how do you,
which one?
The ABA program you were talking about?
Oh, AVA. Oh, we'll send you that at the same time.
Okay.
AVA's on Zoom, on Facebook with us.
It's on Facebook.
Every Monday and Wednesday, but you don't have to be on Facebook. I'm a non-Facebook person. All I have to do is click on the senior source calendar and it takes me there.
Oh,
to the
okay,
home.
okay, that's fine.
The new test that they give us, you know, like every 6 months, you know, when you talk and they take it. Why do that make so many people angry? They don't mean, but why do it make so many people angry?
So she's asking about the clock drawing. And this was the test I was mentioning. It is a screen, not a diagnosis, but that our doctors tend to start doing once a year. Some people are just going to be angry about anything. That's number one. But number two, there's something about being questioned about our thinking that just rubs us the wrong way. The flip side is there was always times where I knew I didn't need to do the test because somebody would walk into the clinic and they go, Cadillac, yellow, and Amarilla. I mean, they would remember the words from last year. I don't need to test you. Part of it is how we present it. Part of it is how we in social service and healthcare explain to people that this is not to upset you. This is to provide you and me with a platform to work from, because we want to be able to help you earlier than later if there's an issue, but also to be certain it's not something else. So why is it a screening? Because it tells us to look for something else. Maybe you have a terrible folate, thyroid, and B12 level. Well, we can treat those things, but we might not have noticed it if we hadn't done a screen. So that's why we say, don't get up. Maybe we find something else that's treatable. Anybody else? Please. Yeah, yeah. I think that we, and when I say we, when I was in healthcare, we have to judge the person with respect. We need information to help the family and the person, but we also have to say, okay, this is enough. It's too much sometimes for people at different stages. And so I just encourage you to be open when you experience those things. Sometimes we need a little more sensitivity. One more. Oh, okay, go ahead, and then I'll get Mr. McFarland. Go ahead. Mhm. So the clock drawing is using a couple different parts of the brain. Well, actually, multiple, more than you think, because the clock portion of it, you're instructed to draw a circle. Okay. If you've had certain kind of brain infarcts, you'd be amazed, but you can't really draw a circle because your brain isn't functioning the same in both hemispheres. So that's one thing. Can you draw the circle? Then you're instructed to put in the clock numbers. And it's unbelievable because y'all are functioning well. So you can't envision this, but we get people who start with number 10 and go off the page. They can't go in a circle. Again, it tells you something about the way the hemispheres are working, but also whether they can still do any kind of strategy. So remember I said brain is much more than memory. So people who are, at it, they go put 12, 3, 6, 9. And then they start filling in because they want it to be perfect. We like to be perfect. But folks who can't think that way anymore, you'd be amazed. And we'd get somebody 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, where they can't, their brain, it shows a lot of brain function. Then the last piece of that is that they instruct you on a time, setting a time. And it's really one of those things where it catches early issues with people because, did anybody remember the time they often use? So it'll be, right, it'll be something where you have two conflicting. So that maybe it's 11:10 or but 11:10 is often selected. Why? Because you've got the numbers and you have to think, well, it's 11 and then 2, right? But if my frontal lobe is beginning to be impacted, I may put 11 and 10 because I heard 10. I'm responding to the 10. So it's not an easy answer. The clinicians who do these every day can give you a better explanation, but it is the most researched and validated quick screen. And if you don't do it perfect, it's still not a huge worry. It just means the doctor's going to go a step farther. They're going to look at your blood work. They're going to see whether there's any impact related to functionality of the hemispheres. But it surely should not be something where we are panicked about going to our yearly exam. And like I said, I got a lot of people who just plain were like, I got this memorized. Okay, well, that tells me you're functioning well. You remember we gave you a test. You remember what the test was. You came in. Okay, please. So no, the SMU was a program focused for persons with dementia and their caregiver, but the Dallas colleges, which used to be Dallas Community College, has free programs for older adults and free degree programs. And I will also send that to Melissa and Constance to get out to you. You had a question before I
did. I was looking at the picture and it's talking about water in your brain. Okay, with water in your brain, okay, can this be some, the things that I named, can it affect your brains where it can cause dementia? Like, for instance, your blood being low, too low. Your water intake is not enough. You know, I'm besides the education and things like that. You can take certain types of vitamins or take certain type of medicine that has mixed chemistries in there that affect certain parts of your body that you're not supposed to be taking, and you can take that. Could this kind of push towards dementia?
So again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a social worker working with persons with dementia for 45 years, but I'm going to try to answer. Everything can affect us. And so let's go from the extreme. Do you remember when we had iodine thermometers?
Yeah.
Okay, we got rid of them because exposure to iodine had a lot of very poor effects on cognitive and physical functioning. So then we go to, let's say I'm somebody who takes a lot of over-the-counter supplement, vitamin, this and that, and everything, the TV. Yeah, it can have a bad effect. I need to tell my doctor what I'm taking because it may interact with something else. So then what about the water or the minerals? Well, more often why we do the blood work is to discern if there's a metabolic imbalance. So if you don't have the right thyroid level, the right potassium level, when you get sick with a UTI, what happens? People get confused. Even younger people can get confused with a UTI because you're out of balance. So the issue is whether that sustains so long that it might cause. But a lot of this is correctable. You know, you want to have regular involvement with your provider because that's not a dementia, it's something reversible. If you have really low potassium, they're going to worry about your heart and your brain, and they're going to get you regulated so that your fluid intake and your potassium, etc., calcium, all of those are going to be huge. Anybody remember about 20 years ago, there was this huge thing about, aluminum. Oh my goodness, aluminum is causing dementia. Get rid of all your aluminum pans and you remember this? I mean, and everybody kind of went, no, well, then they ruled that out. Okay. But there will be more things that come up like that because yes, everything we put in our body, there are also some studies of incidence of our environment. So you mentioned stress, but environment also from chemicals and pollutions. And it's not that it's a direct cause of dementia, but everything affects us. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you. And I will send those things to Melissa. Thank you so much for having me. My favorite program forever and a day. I miss Melanie, and I'm so happy to see Melissa and Constance still
Just a
here.
little thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we have some oh yeah. So we're gonna pass out some Alzheimer's magazines that you'll have, and then a catalog as well, some of the stuff that you can put in your binder. So we'll pass those out. And does anybody have any questions so far?
She knows her stuff. She's a good speaker.
This is the one I confused.
Miss Patricia said she got.
Look at her. Wait a minute, is that her?
Similar information. Oh, okay.
Think about it. Yeah, think about it. There we go.
I know, but still,
But you don't get upset about it.
but you still gotta, you still want to argue. Oh, yeah. So you got to go on the clock. So when you keep on that, go for this.
Think about it. Think about it. That's it.
So let's go ahead and have lunch, and you're welcome. And so does anybody have any other questions or anything like that? So we'll break until 11:30 and then we'll start our next session, maybe 11:45. Yeah, so yeah, if y'all go ahead and take lunch, and we'll start at about 11:30, 11:45. So those that are on Zoom, if you want to come back on, you want to say 11:45? Let's say 11:45, come back on. So we'll see you at 11:45 to jump back on Zoom. Let me go get your glasses before I forget.
No, not that. The one that keeps the baby safe. Yeah, she's his angel. She does angel. I guess they don't. It's empty, so if you don't have it. That's why I put mine in free. I got free. Yeah, no way I can give you all the answers. There's nothing wrong with communication. No, why am I looking for maybe 30 minutes. How long is lunch? 11? I said, you know what? At my age, you never see what you want to do. You never know what I'm giving them all this things to your kids. Okay? That's what they want. Like your parents say, y'all have it. Okay, we should. Another way how young man was speaking out.
Yeah.
But see, we have choices. We don't have a choice. Okay, we don't have a choice. Okay. Mom said, Mama said, you know, but you know, we can try to do this. The real work don't keep it. Yeah. She was on the track. I'm gonna do money. What's up with you? Make you do stuff you wish you could do. And be grateful.
Yours right there. Oh, that's right too. But yeah, when it's on the
Bill, what you need? You know, I can stick some this out. You know, mine, I just stay for I got it there. I have it for that. Where you got it? Let's go back and do until I get there. I know. But it was time to get so darn. I think it was time. Thank you. What he needs. Oh, okay. I don't want it. And you don't want I love this is that's going over my head. What you say? Because I won't miss it.
I think, well, okay, so the next time I remember, I gave my child but give me milk. I didn't play it. So, then, it was okay. But at first, I wouldn't say it. She would say, "Hey, now, no."
Bill Clinton's doing too
I've
much.
got
Everybody's doing too much.
they're going all over, but now they explain.
That's what he said. You know, I don't care. I'm just.
It makes
And I used to like to use no words. You know, just think
the game. Walk out where you but it looks so.
Listen, that's your watermelon. How many you drink?
Try to do 2 or 3. Try.
I think it's hard.
Huh?
Especially late at night. You gotta get up.
I normally do the gallon one. So I do the gallon one. I've just been drinking that one lately, but I do the gallon one.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh, as long as it's cold, I'm okay.
Yes, I can check in and let me know what's going on. I don't know. You're doing good. She okay? She okay? I talked to her. I just I follow her my conversation. You know what I'm saying? Support. So nice, you know. I'm like, what's your plan? I'm supposed to help one another. You got nothing to support that. But we've been together. That's what we call our play. We being with. We went out to Galveston, but you know, it's cheaper for old people. We can't go. You stayed until Okay, okay. San Antonio, we're going back and see that stuff. And my daughter going back to work. Thank you, Lord, thank you. Yeah, sure, truck driver. I'm so glad she's going back to work. That's what she was trying to find. What about 6 years? Yeah. She said she going to come in like, oh, okay. Something she like doing. And you see my ladies like that. Amazing. They be doing it. Yeah. If you want a job done right. Oh, we keep praying about them and we keep them on top of our That's why we have to pray for them. They don't realize communication because we can't get communicate. I can't reach you. But you go talk to your friend. They ain't gonna do that. They don't know nothing. He don't. Yeah. How good it's so good. You're pretty. You're pretty. Yes, he help me. You know, but I like this young lady. She said, I just had one young man open the car door. She said, now I got 2 racing open the car door. Yeah, her son, she has my new friend. And he tried to beat the new friend out there. I said, that's what she wants to do. Say thank you. Okay, but you don't want to just say thank you. They like that big word enough. Come to but that's what we, no, that's you and your little dude. You can't come to old school and you can't. And she can't come to this, you know. So, by coming here. They like that. So we put them on top for half the practice, okay? But what we need to call up two things. We need some help. Yeah, we got some very intelligent young person. But some of them got to go out in the kitchen, make sure you know, I told myself, you see, you straighten them, but you maybe this too late. How they afraid they be aggravated, just tell me what you think is wrong. Because people have been on because some of them just me. Sorry, but they are. I'm gonna stay with them, breathe and go on. You don't have a heart. What's wrong? That's one thing they were telling me because I said, look, get you today. I said, babe, I don't swear for nobody else but mine. I said, I respect you, but I spoke all about the way for you.
Don't get in my car, turn the radio station.
You gotta get along with me. Just getting along with doing drugs. I had some in school that had
Yeah.
I just want to tell the ladies on Zoom that we will start at 11:45, so y'all can log off and log back on at 11:45 if you want to, or y'all can just stay on Zoom. Just wanted to let y'all know.
Yep. They might not put it in jail, but this will be on. But she ain't gonna be sitting for mama for a while. And mama will be like, 10 years old. But we haven't been she didn't see this crap on she didn't see mama cooking room. She could have grown. So, hey, it's too much down here. So, what would you do? Do a lot of stuff that we do in life. Don't you ever let everybody know you you know, we don't heard that. They don't think we got fun. We were coming. I said, baby. We had fun. I said, but every time I was different. I said, but thank God for that. That's why we technology. You probably did a whole bunch of stuff. I did. Yeah. Because you still a man. Older people, I think, and especially the parents that beat your grandparents, but nowadays they don't care about no grandparents or parents. There's just so many cooks going on. See what they both did. He didn't even have to. We make his grandma truck. After they shot him, yeah, sure. Pick up a whole bunch of dogs. Then the question is, I didn't know he really you in your life, you don't know nothing. You ever see anything, hear anything? You know, we always like clear, you know, and always you need to do everything. Keep talking in your heart. Here's some problem for you for them over here.
boyfriend in the room and the girlfriend in the room and the dope lock and mama go over there. You bring somebody in there, check that door.
That's what you need. They got this chapter on the stage with David Chappelle. How he got hit to call the ambulance to him. Oh, okay. He had broke his arm back this way. You know, they tell people, you love people, but you don't know. See, that's why you need to stop with her. How you doing? All right. What you been up to? Oh, what's your name?
Rob the gas station with grandpa's gone.
And that's what I say, I'm doing back in the day, but if that would have been suggested, like, about a place.
Machine gun. You know them, you know they went.
Yeah, and they lied about it when they first started it too, so.
Where?
I never get a chance to do it. So I had to feel fun. Can't do it. Damn. 3 days. Man, I bet you this too when I was that's what you gotta say. I would want to say, no, you want to try me, you want to get over it.
I ain't going in nowhere.
I don't know what we have so much to talk about. I just don't understand. You think so? I treated myself. She's always so nice. She's always, I was on trouble. She always yes, I told her. Yeah. So she told me go work early and I picked her up. Waited to a few stores. I had $20 to burn my pocket.
We want to know everything
and you know, as we get older, we talk with the same things. I sure enjoy coming to be with you. We still able to move around, county. We goes and comes.
Keep on moving.
The church is so good. You know, this church, you just do whatever you want to do. I said, no. I said, I do sometimes. I said, but I ask you for you go up to that pew. I always let you need your robe. I said, y'all block up my house. If you can't get back, and then you should consider somebody sitting in your pew. You do not have a pew. You do not have a pew. You want to see, you think this your seat, you need to hear. Because I'm not in charge of it. I said, that's a mistake. I said, that's above my pay rate, okay? But my memory, the old, tabernacle praise, hold out for Jamil and you're not one. You just like, they live, that's the lady that was on us. I said, sure. They try to play my teacher. Somebody tell me, that's what I tried. Yeah. I said, we do some of it, she was a baby. Some of it just don't want to do it. Oh, yeah. Because I see some where they get cashew and they be some of the cashew nuts. So don't let them take you to a level. They got some listen to all of this. They don't know. They change. They don't make a rule. She gets the manager to a customer. Good service, some good training, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A got the best customer service, rain, sleet, or snow. Those young folks are so nice. Yeah. And they take that training very seriously. That raising cane. We got a new basic. Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Your friend said, I was taking her home. I'm close. So I told her, I said, I'm close. She said, where you going? I don't get this. I don't get the expressway. I know the signal, but I don't know. And I don't have. I get on there like the sweet or somewhere like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Isn't that good? This action. And my daughters, they want to do some. I said, I said, well, I will be there. You got one. Baby girl, she's on time. It's just that I'm comfortable with that. I'm not bothered. It took me out. Yeah, what I do. And I have to so my water, they know that. They can't pick up. And she just
Who is, I'm sorry, ladies, I'm just going to ask people on Zoom. Who's on the iPhone on Zoom? Him is Branch there. Again, ladies, who's on the iPhone on Zoom? Because I don't know who that is, and I want to give you hours. Oh, yeah, we know. But I don't know who this is. Oh, yeah, it was twice.
Yeah, I should have put the ball over there. Yeah, they need something like glasses tonight. I need a bandage. Old lady bag.
He says meeting at 3.
Oh, be there. No. Right, right. Yeah, I'm ready to eat. Yeah, I'm ready to eat. I can't eat but because I told myself, what? I said, that's the second year. Yep.
Yeah. Have some in my purse. Well, I don't ever do that. Hey.
That's the second run. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm glad that she told you. I'm gonna be there to take care of the day. I mean, 3:45. So now we just start telling you, it's gonna be at 12. So about 1 o'clock, I'm gonna be there. You know, they love them, but they just stay, don't go away. So they almost don't bring sister that when they come in bad. I'm not gonna get me so much strength.
They like, you know,
Yeah, everything they do. Some things that don't, you got to yeah.
Did you put the newsletter on there? Okay.
Hey, I'm on the drive. I was drive by. Yep. My glasses on. Wash my windshield. I'm straight down and I got both. Yeah, yeah. My sister, yep. But it's just something I can see myself. Because I, you know, some people say she did. My daughter commented, she doesn't know how to get to upset. They sometimes people just really want to see. And you know, you have to figure out what you're going to do. I think the time you are doing your job, you change. So just say, hey, man, I don't want to stay with my smoke. And I don't want to do no way. You never said smoke.
Almost let them acquire, make sure it's still.
Before you gonna put your stuff in.
And don't worry about the description. Because you're on the line. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just kind of B-roll. B-roll.
B-roll.
B-roll.
B-roll.
Yeah, like showing volunteers and stuff like that. So I will say the name and then give you the certificate.
Much of this is predicated on the board meeting coming in. So I need to, I don't know what the plan is.
Okay.
But just to let you know, they just started meeting. I think
Okay.
they were running a little late.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a whole,
y'all.
We'll go ahead and do this.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do anniversaries. So that's okay. All right, ladies. Hope you had a good lunch and everything. What we are going to do, which we did. I know, right? What we're going to do is anniversaries. We did it last time, so we're going to celebrate some anniversaries. So for 3 years of service, we have Miss Eddie Tarrant. Come on up, you have a certificate. We gotta recognize those that are celebrating.
And why don't y'all stay up when you get them so we can, I'll take a picture of everybody.
All right. For 5 years of service is Miss Anderson.
All right.
She also gets a 5-year pin. All right, for another 5 years of service is Miss Beverly Tiggs.
All right.
And she gets a 5-year pin as well. And then for 12 years of service
All right.
is Miss Goff. Where she at? Here she is.
I got mine last month.
No. And then we have some that are not here, but we just want to still celebrate the years of service. For 3 years, Miss Vivian Lewis. For 5 years, Miss Juanita Kelly. For another 5 years, Miss Matthews, Miss Teresa Matthews. And for another 12 years is Miss Carrie Black. So we have a lot of people are celebrating anniversaries, and then next month we'll do those that are in July for next month's anniversaries. And let me get out of the way so Miss Constance can take a picture.
Thank you, guys. Okay, okay, all right. I'll come back up. Okay. I will get y'all pictures, guys. Forgive us. Okay. All right, hold your certificate up, guys. Ready?
All right. Thank you, ladies, for your years of service. So last month, we talked about recruitment initiative that we're going to talk about. It was in last month's paperwork. So I'm going to turn that over to Constance, and she will give you some more information about that.
Okay, guys. Thank y'all so much. So for those of you who were not here last month, we talked about recruiting, and we were wanting to get you guys help in helping us to recruit. On your table, you'll find a sheet that looks like this. It says SCP recruiting applicants. If you guys will find that for me. So if you have friends or relatives that you think might be interested in volunteering for the Senior Companion Program, please send them our way. Make sure that they understand that it is a volunteer position, and we need people who are passionate about helping seniors. We really need some men. Okay. So if you know someone that is interested in volunteering, and and you've already talked to them about it, or they've mentioned it to you, if you would just have them contact me. Now, you guys listen to me, because you can just have them contact me. You don't have to call me and say, Constance, I got somebody. Just give them my phone name and phone number and have them give me a call. Okay. And if you have that information today, you can go ahead and put it on the sheet that's on your table, that recruitment, SCP recruitment applicant sheet. And you can give me their name and phone number today, and we'll be happy to take it from you today. If you send someone to us and they complete the interview process and the background checks, and they go through training, then we will enter your name in a drawing for $50. Okay, I'm going to start interviewing next week. So if you have someone that's interested, let me know. So your name could get entered into the drawing. So if you fill that out today, if you fill that sheet out today, make sure that you give it to me before you leave, or leave it on the table. If you submit someone who is a male, lives in one of our underserved areas, which is like Carrollton, Plano, Richardson, Irving, North Dallas, Plano, Garland, then you'll get entered more than once. Okay, or male, or someone who's bilingual, then you'll get an additional entry if they fit one of those categories. Okay, any questions? No? All right, so who's leaving me some names today? That one? Okay, Ms. Anderson, I have yours. Ms. Gonzalez, I have yours. And I'll get yours. Anybody else? No? For those of you who are on Zoom, are you guys hearing me okay? I hope that's a yes. Okay.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, great, great. And we have cards. These little cards here that we made for you guys that you can give out to them. Just give them, you can put your, make sure you put your name on the card so that when they call us, they can say who referred them. And we'll jot that down. Okay.
All right. And Constance, how about someone that want to become a client? I left her name for you. I didn't hear from you, but I don't know.
Can you repeat that, Miss Henry?
Yes, I left your client. Her name was Julia Davis, and she would like to. She said she's bored at her place, and I was telling her about the companion program. I'm not sure if you go there to the center.
Did you give her my number?
Did give her your number and your name, and I left a message and I told you it was Julia Davis.
Okay.
And I gave her
I don't think I've talked to her yet. Did she mention that she talked to me?
I asked her,
I don't think so.
She said you haven't called her yet, so I didn't know. It had been over a week. It's been over a week, so I didn't know.
Okay.
But she told me she would love to have one.
I'll check. I'll check my voicemail when I get back to my desk. Okay, and then call me again because I'm having a hard time hearing you. So call me tomorrow and remind me again to check. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Because I didn't know if you were.
If I don't see it, I'll take her name and number from you.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll put these cards right here on this table. You can take as many as you want. For those of you on Zoom, the cards are here. If you want the cards, you don't have to have the cards, but just make sure if you refer someone, they make sure they give your name. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, so you guys are reading what's on the screen. I forgot she had to distribute business cards to people you think would be good, senior companions. Please, guys, because I get a lot of people call me and say that one of you guys referred them, and they say, I'm calling about this job. I want a job. And then I have to go through and make sure they understand it's not a job. They don't work for the senior source, they volunteer. So make sure you emphasize that it is a volunteer position. And we The money that you receive is called a stipend. It's not considered as income, so it cannot be counted as income. Some of you have sent over some things, like if you're moving and you want your apartment to consider that your stipend money as income. We can't say that that's income. We can verify that you are receiving it, but it cannot be counted as income. Okay, just FYI. Just, was somebody saying something on Zoom?
No, I was talking to my boyfriend.
Okay. If you're on Zoom and you're not speaking, make sure you mute yourself so we don't hear your background noise. Okay, so everybody understand that. Make sure they understand it's a volunteer position. The stipend is not considered as income. So that has a benefit. It doesn't impact your any benefits you may be receiving from the government, your Social Security, none of that. So it doesn't penalize you in that way. But it does, I guess when you're trying to get an apartment, they want your income to be a certain level. So some people want to include that, but once they read that letter and the letter tells them that it cannot be counted as income, then they won't do it. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Constant, I was looking here on your recruiting list. Mesquite, Richardson, Grand Prairie.
Those are our underserved areas. We don't have very many volunteers in those areas. So that's why we have those listed there.
But now, if I live in Grand Prairie and decided I wanted to go, okay, my mileage from home, you're gonna come to Grand Prairie and check my mileage from Grand Prairie to my client?
Well, when we assign you a client, we do your mileage at that time. And we calculate what your round trip mileage is from your house to your client's house. And that's automatically set up when we assign you to that client.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to get the understanding. So if I recruit someone in those areas, I can explain that,
Yes.
Okay.
We will definitely try to place them with someone in their area, within a 10-mile radius of where they live. Yes.
Because you haven't always had those areas.
We have always had those areas. We're wanting to recruit volunteers. We have plenty of clients in those areas. We don't have a lot of volunteers in those areas. Yeah. So that's the rub. So we want to get more volunteers to serve the clients in those areas.
Because I've had some, I've talked to people that live like in those areas about the organization. And I didn't know whether you were servicing that out.
Oh, yeah. If we have volunteers, because we get clients from all over Dallas County. And we have plenty of clients, but not a lot of volunteers. So yes, definitely, if you know someone that lives in those areas, they're interested in volunteering, please send them our way so that we can be able to serve our clients that we're getting in those areas.
So if y'all have clients, then everybody should have to help somebody, right?
Well, just like I was saying, these clients may be in these underserved areas.
But we can't go to them?
If you want to travel, we try to keep you guys within a 10-mile radius of your home. So if you want to travel outside that 10-mile radius, you can, but that would be up to you.
Well, I mean, gas is hot now, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the 10-mile. No, we try to keep you within a 10-mile radius. So we don't want you to have to travel too far. Any more questions? Good questions. Okay. So, like number 4 says, the last thing on this one, But let me go back to number 3. If your potential recruit is male, bilingual, or lives in an underserved area, you will receive 2 additional entries. The potential recruit must pass all background checks, complete training, and participate in all in-services for 2 months in order for you to be eligible for the drawing to win a $50 gift card in December at our monthly in-service, okay? So, okay. Well, don't, what? Yeah, well, yes, so far. But if we get a lot of these, we may, maybe we can add another $50. If we get a lot of entries, maybe we can add another $50. Okay. No, she was saying, are we all gonna be competing for $150?
No. I have about 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then they give one for the whole, so that's the number like.
Okay, great. Okay, when you came in, did you pick up a Beat the Heat? If you didn't get one, it's on the table back there. All right, well, that's it on the recruitment. If you guys don't have any more questions, we're gonna move on. We did the questions. So now we want to talk about the senior source. Okay.
No, we're just right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys know the senior source has a calendar of events on their website. And you can go to the senior source. And
It's not, I didn't hyperlink.
okay.
That's why I just did that.
Can I just do this?
Yeah.
Okay. And they have everybody see that? Calendar with classes and training. So if you're looking for something to do or looking for some additional training, you can go to the Senior Source website and check out what's going on for that month at the Senior Source. Okay, everybody know how to get to the Senior Source website? You just type in www.theseniorsource.org. And then it'll open it up and it should say classes and training or classes. Click on the classes. Can y'all see me putting an arrow right here? Is that arrow showing up on there?
I think it's a little. It's the laser pointer.
See right here where it says classes?
It's not showing up on your screen.
You don't see it?
I don't.
Let's make sure it is.
Yeah, let's see.
Slides are not showing up.
Now they are. Okay.
Okay, can y'all see it now?
Yes.
So once you get to the website, you click on classes and it'll open up the calendar for that month. And you can see what classes they have, and then you just go to whichever one you're interested in and click on it. And it should give you some information about where and when. Make sure you type THE seniorsource.org. Yeah.
.org?
.org.
O-R-G.
Okay, great. Any questions?
On to the next one.
Training hours?
Training hours. Can we go over that?
Well, we don't have a.
So you're asking like what consists of training hours?
No, she's saying.
Or
can you
your
go
personal?
Say, I think it's 20.
That's for director. Training, we don't really have a limit on training.
The 24 hours is right when you start. Yeah. But we're like, in-services, all of that considers under training. So you're going to meet your hours by doing that. Yes, that's the whole point of this, is going over this, is that anything that's on the senior source calendar counts as training. So we can give you hours for that training. I get a roster for every class that's taken, so I can tell who's taken that class. So you can sign up for the class and it'll give you hours. So say this one is for, so an hour and 15 minutes. So you're able to take an hour. That'll give you an hour and 15 minutes under training.
That's the reason why we're sharing the calendar. That's another resource for you guys to go to and check.
Yep. So always check on your calendar every month and see what there is. You have to register for it. So you'll see right here that you need to register for the link. Just click on it and it'll take you to the registration link. So
they don't have anything hour that you can do with your client. You can get those.
You can get additional hours.
Yeah.
So you have your hours for your client,
Direct service.
your direct service, your hours with your client, and then you have that column that says training. So say you take this class, it's an hour and 15 minutes, so that's an hour 0.25
Under training.
under training. And I get a roster, so I don't know who took it.
Ms. Anderson.
So what I would do is I would suggest you take the basics course, the basic computer course
Here at the senior
here
source.
at the source. There is a waiting list.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have, they have, like, last time I heard, 75 people waiting on the waiting list. So
some of them are our people too. So go ahead and put your name on the wait list if you want it, because you never know, someone may cancel. Just call up here and ask for John. John. He's with the EFSC. And tell him you want to be on the wait list for the computer class.
Yeah. So again, your direct services, your direct hours with your client, and your training. So you do these trains, so it's 2 columns. There's actually 4 columns. There's direct service, which is your client. Then I believe it's training, which is training that's offered by the senior source. Then you have holiday, which we give you your hours for holiday, which June 20th is a holiday.
Yes.
Okay. No. Well, it's not going to be on the June timesheet because it's a new federal holiday. So we haven't added it to our timesheets yet. Just make sure you put holiday because it is Juneteenth is a holiday. Yep. So it is a federal holiday, June 20th. And then you have leave time. So whatever hours you want on leave time. Those are the 4 columns that are on your timesheet.
And on the leave time, guys, you can just put that on your timesheet if you want to take leave on that day. If you don't know what else to put, you can just write in leave or put how many hours you want to take for leave. Not on holiday.
Not on holiday, just
on leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you decide you want to take one of your leave
because
days.
I'll know on leave time.
Yeah. If you did, I don't know. Everybody's going to be different. So if you want to, we gave something with leave time one time.
That was last year.
Okay.
2 years ago. So,
but you can call and we can tell you what your leave time is. Okay.
So again, here's a date and time. You could either register this way by clicking the link, email the person, or call this number. Okay, those are the 3 ways you can register for the class. Anybody have any questions about training? All right, and some of the stuff that we provide inside the newsletter counts as training. Like you see the mindfulness, that's a training that I'm going to be offering. So that counts towards your hours.
Okay, well, that's good. Melissa, may I ask you, do I not qualify for the holiday pay because I didn't get it for April? I didn't get anything for April. Because I'm not.
Just call me later, Miss Henry. Just call me later.
Okay. Okay.
So mindfulness is going to be considered a class. So anytime you see something in the newsletter, pay attention to that because that can count for training. Does everybody remember the little training symbol? I didn't put it on this one. Yeah, the little A. Whenever you see the little A, that counts for training. I didn't put it on this one, I'm sorry. But if it has a little A on it, it counts towards training.
Okay.
Are you going to mail out the newsletter for those of us who did not attend?
Yes, I did.
No. Oh, yeah.
I will be the July one. Yes.
Okay, because the one you're talking about now.
Yes, we're just waiting to see who's going to show up first before we mail them out.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So no more questions? No more questions?
We put that on there just in case we needed to have, it's always going to be the second Thursday of the month. We just have that other one in case we need to give you more hours so that those that don't have clients can have some training hours. So we just kind of put it on there just in case. We will let you know in the newsletter that's going to be a training, but we're just trying to give those that don't have a client right now hours so that they have something on their timesheet.
How do you register for it? I mean, is it on the regular sheet?
No, so this is on the website.
Yeah.
So it is on the website.
It's on the website. Yeah. So when you go to the website, it says classes.
Right.
And then you click on that, and these are the ways to register.
When you click on the link, if you do it that way, it should open up a form for you to fill out. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? You ready to go sleep?
We're almost done.
All right.
Hmm?
She was utilized Monday.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we want to go.
Yeah.
Oh, just click on the next one. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you have your July newsletter on the table, and we'll just go through it real quick. Everybody got the newsletter with the 4th of July picture on it? Okay, first of all, let's celebrate our July birthdays. We have Miss Goff. Her birthday is July 2nd. Miss Goff says she's going to be 77. All right? Miss Goff, stand up so they can see who you are. Okay. And next, Teresa Matthews on July 14th. Miss Matthews, are you on here? And then Patricia Cornell on July 20th. Stand up, Miss Cornell, so they can see who you are. And Laura McAfee, July 22nd. Miss McAfee, you're on here, right?
Yep.
She's on Zoom. Happy birthday, Miss McAfee. You'll be 61? Happy birthday. Wow. Okay, so if you guys turn to the second page, we're under the training corner. This is where we put the information about the Zoom training dates, Zoom link. Now, starting the July will be our last Zoom for in-service. Okay. After July, we will only be doing in-service in person.
What do you like? Okay.
All right. And down at the bottom.
This is the last month. This is the last month. Okay, July, you start. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Henry. All right.
You gotta get me. All right.
Down at the bottom, I put a couple of training dates down there. June 15th, training by Dr. B on grief and loss from COVID. And July 27, tools for dealing with depression and anxiety. Just contact Melissa if you want to participate in that
Oh,
training.
actually, they just need to log on the same.
Same link?
Yep, same link.
Okay, log on to the same Zoom link that you see there if you want to take those 2 classes. All right. So do you guys like to laugh out loud with Miss Maxine? Miss Maxine? Okay, she said, oh, 4th of July, when it comes to the Stars and Stripes, for once I've got no gripes. And she said, a cookout with the family can only mean one thing. I'm going to have to deal with a lot of wieners. Okay, now the Senior Companion Spotlight. If I have not spotlighted you in the newsletter, make sure you let me know. Because I'm keeping a list of it, but sometimes I think, did I do her? So our spotlight this month for July is Freddie Branch. Miss Branch, where is she? Okay. Miss Branch was born in Tyler, Texas. Her favorite game as a kid was hopscotch. Her song that she's completely memorized is Amazing Grace. Her favorite place to visit is New Orleans. She's had 5 jobs. Wilma Hutchins, custodian at the high school, was her favorite. Her favorite quote is, do unto others as you have them do unto you. What is the best way to start the day for her is praying in her bedroom. Favorite movie, Family Reunion by Tyler Perry. You guys love your Tyler Perry.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Her wedding outfit was a blue suit. She was married at the courthouse in Dallas. And something she likes to do the old fashioned way is cook cakes and dressing from scratch. And that's Miss Freddie Branch. And Miss Branch, I couldn't find a picture of you. So I'm so sorry. And you didn't send me one. All right, our next profiler is Miss Geraldine Donaldson. Did everybody know Miss Donaldson? Miss Donaldson is in the house. Raise your hand, Miss Donaldson. There she is. And she was born in Ennis, Texas. Miss Donaldson, I went to Ennis a couple of months ago to see the Blue Bonnets. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Her favorite game as a kid was Jacks. And the song that she's completely memorized is Take Me to the King. And her favorite place to visit is the Grand Canyon, mine too. And she's had 5 jobs. Her favorite was working at the mansion on Turtle Creek. She met a lot of famous people, Jerry Lee Lewis, Dallas Cass, Larry Hagman, and Linda Gray. And she also met the Queen of Thailand. Her favorite quote is God bless America. And what is her best way to start the day is a breakfast, bacon, eggs, oatmeal, and toast. It's my kind of breakfast. Favorite movie is Autobiography of James Brown. Anybody else seen that? Her wedding outfit was pants and a shirt. She was married at home. And what she likes to do old-fashioned way is her sheets are folded straight out of the dryer to keep wrinkles down. That's right. Okay. All right. And we're sad to have to say, how many of you knew Miss Bernice Johnson? Okay. Miss Johnson passed away. And we just want to thank her for her service with the Senior Companion Program. And she was eulogized at First Baptist Church, Hamilton Park on June 7, 2022. We'll miss her. Bernice Johnson. Okay. And just some things to know and to remember. Senior companions are required to attend monthly in-service. Make sure your timesheet is signed by the client if you are back to in-person service. Please make sure you get your client's signature on that timesheet. Starting August, in-service will only be offered at the senior source. Okay. All right. Here's a flyer about Alzheimer's. Let's learn more about Alzheimer's. This is the blue one. The senior source gets this information all the time from different organizations they share with us. And so they sent this to the senior source. They're looking for volunteers, participants for a brain health study. It says if you are age 55, healthy and no cognitive decline, no brain surgeries or injuries within the past year, have transportation to University of Texas at Arlington, or if you know someone who's over the age of 55 with early stage, this is if you know someone who is over the age of 55 with early stage Alzheimer's, mild symptoms of dementia, no brain surgeries or injuries within the past year, have transportation to University of Texas at Arlington, please call the number below. So if they call that number, that they will give you the information you need to participate in this study. You can call or email elizabeth.ing@uta.edu. Now, we don't know anything beyond what's on here. So if you want more information, you'll have to call them to get more details, okay? Everybody hear that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now this another flyer we put in here was about Parkland. And this is a scam alert. Now, Parkland is advising Dallas County seniors to protect themselves against fake home care call visits. Call 911 if you feel threatened by an unrecognizable caller or home solicitor. Okay, it says Dallas, a recent phone call scam is targeting the Dallas County elderly community. The Parkland Health Call Center has received numerous phone calls from elderly patients who say they have received calls from a Parkland phone number. The caller states they are in the neighborhood to offer a home health care checkup for only $50. The Dallas County Hospital District Police Department has been made aware of the scam and advises that no one should open their door to unexpected visitors claiming to be a Parkland employee. Of note, Parkland employees will never ask patients for cash in their homes. Police advise community members to call 911 if anyone feels unsafe or threatened by unexpected visitors. The scammers are spoofing Parkland numbers, making it appear that these calls are coming from Parkland when they are not. Parkland officials emphasize the importance of not giving out personal information like date of birth or credit card or social security numbers to anyone over the phone. Fraudulent callers typically steal a person's identity by making up stories to try to obtain their name, social security number, or financial information. A legitimate entity such as Parkland Health will always respect the desire for privacy and security. If anyone ever doubts the validity of a phone call, say you would like to call the person back and ask for their direct number. This will usually prompt the scammer to get flustered and hang up. To reach the Dallas County Hospital District Police Department Non-Emergency Communications Dispatch Center, please call 469-419-7777. Okay, so you guys hang on to that and share that with your clients and with your family and your neighbors. Okay, you guys want to do this word scramble together real quick? Who knows what the first one is? What's the first one? I do. Huh? You don't want to do, you don't want to, yeah.
Oh, they can do it at home.
Do y'all want to do it at home? Okay. All right. You said you didn't want the answers. Yeah, I'll put it in the next one. What? You know number 2? Okay. Okay, so y'all said y'all want to do it at home. Okay, so
we'll put the answers in the newsletter next month.
It's not hard. It's not hard. All right, go on to the dark information. Y'all see that sheet? Shuttle buses to replace rail for tunnel maintenance, June 9th through the 12th and June 23rd through the 26th. How many of you guys are using DART in here?
I do.
We got 2. Okay. All right, well, I will let you guys read that since we don't have a very many in here who are using it. I'll let you guys read that on your own. You can keep this, okay? Okay. All right. Okay, do you get the Sunshine Committee contribution?
Let them read it. Let them read it when they get.
You guys can read this yourselves. That's what Melissa's telling me. Okay, and that's it. We got the bag. Did you know? Oh, the 4th of July commemorates which document? Declaration of Independence, right. And I didn't know this one. Every Independence Day, how many times does the Liberty Bell ring? 13 times.
13 colonies. You know why?
Why?
Colonies.
13 colonies. Oh. See, there I learned something.
It has 13 stripes.
Okay, I didn't know the bell rang 13 times. That's what I did. Okay, and we always put the COVID risk level on the back. We're still in the green. And there's some information there. The updated Dallas County metrics indicators are based on new knowledge and information that continues to emerge and enhance our understanding of how to assess the Dallas County COVID-19 response. Now, it's not really saying too much about the color, but we are still in the green, so that's a good thing.
Okay, like we get credit for, for the meeting, but we also used to get credit for this. So do we still get credit for this, or now it's a meeting? Did you get it? I'm gonna try to get credit.
We'll still give you credit for the newsletter.
It depends on, well, it's not automatically 2 hours because it depends on how much content. If it's 2 pages, like, right.
Yeah.
Well, because it was a lot of content, but now that we're doing in services, because this was taking place of in service most of the time.
Yeah.
We were giving you 2 hours, but now that we're doing a lot of it here in service, it won't probably be 2 hours anymore.
Maybe
It'll probably just be an hour.
We'll give you an hour since we're just now telling you guys. Yes. Well, that's what it was before, but it doesn't say that on the back. Well, yeah, it does.
Okay, so we'll give you 2 hours for this one, but the other ones are going to be 1 hour.
Yeah.
Because we have in service now.
Yeah, I just see. So I'll be changing that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hold on. We have some, and that's just due to medical and some people can't take shots because of their medical history. Yeah. No, I think majority of everybody's already taken.
And that's private information, guys. So if people don't want to share that, they don't have to share that. Okay.
When you're putting the newsletter on your timesheet, do you write newsletter?
You could put NL.
Okay.
Yes.
For newsletter, but I have that information already.
Yeah, we give that to you guys as soon as, usually.
Right.
You don't have to, because we'll give it to you.
Yeah, I automatically give that to you. Just like the rosters for training, I have the rosters for everybody that's done, that gets a newsletter, rosters for those that have done training, even the training that I do, I have a roster, so. Is there any other questions? Yes. No, we don't. We don't have any information on that.
Check with your doctors.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
that's a
definitely,
medical question.
yeah, definitely don't go Googling, you know, and because it gives you the worst scenario and stuff. So it's, you know, yeah. Monkeypox, do we have information? Which we don't. Yeah, that's medical. We can't provide that information. That's medical. You know, you would need to talk to your doctor about that.
Yeah.
Or medical staff. Any other questions? Sure. Goes under training. Direct service is working with the client. Working with the client or doing phone calls. That's when you're working specifically with someone. Training is in services, internet, the ones that I do, that's considered training.
And we'll cover you with the newsletter. We'll give you that.
Yeah, we automatically put that on the training.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for saying
You know,
that.
we definitely, like I said, we have a presenter for every month. We'll have a presenter coming in, so it's not just Constance and I up here every day. I mean, every time. So we definitely want to make sure we're providing you with knowledgeable information. Next month, I want to say it's guardianship. So some of y'all may have to deal with guardianship and some of those, that aspect, or know somebody. So,
it's also going to be about the ride alternatives.
Right, and DART. So we'll have some information about that as well, because you know DART's consistently changing. So again, August, our deadline, in-person training. We got to Zoom out of Zoom and everything. So we got to be in person for us to do that. Is there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to have someone come in and, you know, give us a basic on first aid?
We can look into that, but I'll definitely put a note on that. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. And a lot of it's with y'all. That's why we do those surveys. Like, what do you want? You know, we don't want to just kind of guess and stuff. That's why we're always asking you surveys. And I know it's time consuming, but we really want to provide what you're needing and what you want. So that's why we do those. So thank you for participating in those surveys, because without your input, we can't decide what we want to provide for you. So thank you for doing that. Any other questions?
On the recruiting, there is a deadline on that. In order for us to be able to do the December drawing, the deadline is the end of August.
August 15th you had on there.
August 15th to have your recruits in. Okay.
And make sure y'all bring your binders. That's why we hole punch everything, so y'all can put y'all stuff in your binders and not lose stuff. So that's why we have your binders for y'all. All right, ladies, is there anything else? We're gonna actually finish early, but still do 4.5, just because we finished early today. Doesn't y'all still get y'all hours? Is there any other questions? All right, ladies. Any questions on Zoom? I need to know who's on the iPad. Who's on iPad?
I am. Brooks. Jackie is.
Oh, that's Ms.
I'm on an iPad.
Yeah, let me put your name real quick. Hold on.
Dorothy Jones.
Oh, I got you, Ms. Jones. Hold on. There was someone else that I needed to find out. Who else was there? There's some telephone numbers I could look those up.
you have Mary Williams on the
Yep,
phone?
we got everybody else. Thank you, ladies, for being on there again. You know, August is when we're starting to be in person, so we don't Zoom anymore.
Do you have Jean Jackson?
Yes, Miss Jackson, I got you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Thank you. Go ahead and put 4.5 down, and we will see you in 3 weeks, something like that. So y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe. Happy Juneteenth for our first national holiday celebration for that. So y'all have a safe one. Talk to y'all later.
You as well,
Thank you.
Melissa.
Thank you.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
You too.